So when you're experiencing rough seas or on the water, one of these guys may be deployed to come help you out. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Coast Guard on an average day. On an average day, the Coast Guard saves 15 lives, and this is all across the nation. There's 117 people that they help in distress. On an average day, the Coast Guard conducts 90 search and rescue cases. And ladies and gentlemen, just today, we've conducted 3 search and rescue cases just locally in the last couple hours. As Herb was alluding to earlier, when we looked out over the horizon and saw all these boats, you know, when they're in such a perfect straight line, that's not an accident. That's a product of great teamwork by a number of organizations. And just going to give a shout out to these organizations right now, working in teams to keep everyone safe and keep everyone on the line. We have 4 Coast Guard boats out there. We have 6 auxiliary boats. We have 4 personal watercraft. We have 7 police boats, 2 fire boats, 2 conservation police boats, and 3 lifeguards. They're coming in nice and close. So right now they're getting ready to deploy a rescue swimmer. They're just trying to find the right spot. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what the Coast Guard does on an average day. Like I said, 90 search and rescue cases. 3 of them happened here today, just in the last couple hours. The Coast Guard saved $2.8 million in property, and they also seized 652 pounds of pure cocaine before it ever enters U.S. waters. That's worth about $22 million. Another thing the Coast Guard does on an average day is enforce 129 security and safety zones. And right now, when you look out and see these boats, this is considered a safety zone. So this is one of the 129 we do on an average day. So here they come, making their approach. Like I said, this is a Dolphin helicopter. I'll tell you a little bit more about it. It's a short-range recovery helicopter powered by twin-turbo Mecha Coast Guard engines. It's capable of 1,700 shaft horsepower, and it's got a maximum speed of 175 knots, which equates to 202 miles an hour. It's got an endurance of 3.5 hours, so between the 2 air stations, they can make it to any place on Lake Michigan. And like I said, there's 5 Coast Guard helicopters serving Lake Michigan and 100 total in the Coast Guard. And you might be thinking 100, that's not a whole lot. Well, the Coast Guard's not a very big service. There's only 41,000 Coast Guard members. That's actually smaller. That's smaller than the New York Police Department. And the smoke is on. It's a different kind of smoke than we've been hearing and seeing during these last couple hours. But it's just as important, in fact, could be more important. The helicopter uses to mark where the rescue swimmer should deploy or to be picked up. It looks like they're just lowering the hoist for that rescue swimmer today. They use the smoke to gauge the wind as well.
Use the smoke for what?
Positioning and also to gauge where the wind direction is.
Alright, the flight mechanic who is lowering the hoist to pick up the rescue swimmer is Petty Officer Nick Thomas. The rescue swimmer who's being picked up is Petty Officer John Arden. The pilots Dave Ober and the co-pilot's Lieutenant Chad Ingram. Look at that pickup, nice and smooth. So Petty Officer Nick Thomas, the flight mechanic, his job is extremely important because not